on in my real apartment on 315 East 25th Street, which was Divine's apartment in the movie, in Fells Point, and Millrace Road in Hamden, and in Fells Point at the end there. There was no film commission, there was no licenses, we never had permission, we just showed up and did that. You can see people running out of their house and joining in at the end. Like Sunday morning at 8 a.m. or something. So, anybody have any questions? Yes, in the back.
During your time as a filmmaker, was there ever a moment where you decided to quit making movies? And why did you want to quit, and what kept you going?
I never wanted to quit making movies. Sometimes I had to because I couldn't get the budget. So I learned a long time ago to have many careers. That's why I write books and do speaking shows. And so I always knew there had to be a backup. And as long as I had a way to tell stories, it didn't really matter which way I was doing it. But certainly there were many times when I couldn't get the money or I had projects that never got made. So, but you learn to roll with the punches. I think I was treated very fairly through my whole career. I was understood right from the beginning by a certain group of people. This film premiered at the Unitarian Church, right below where Sasha's restaurant used to be, across the street, that Unitarian Church. And I think they just thought, how else could we ever get these people in a church? At the church where we filmed the rosary job scene, the priest never saw it. He didn't know what we were shooting. And in those days, the priests always had the left wing and the Vietnam War rallies and stuff. So we just had like yippies talking to him in the back about politics while we filmed the whole scene. And he came to the premiere, and I felt bad for him. He almost started crying when he said, "Please don't tell anybody where you filmed us," and I never have to this day. I never saw him again either. So, and the most gratuitous shot in the whole movie is when that person shoots up for real on the altar for no reason of any possible way. Even I am shocked by that shot. Why did I put that in? He did it for real. He only OD'd recently. It was real too. It wasn't like, of course, then we had to do it for real. And the line ate the heart. That was trainer wheels for a turd, really. Anybody else? Yes.
So the royal paint huffing scene, I noticed the building in the back looked like the jail. Was it shot in Jonestown?
Which scene? Where they were sniffing? Where
yes, when they were huffing the back.
No, that's on Bond Street, and we did for the Sun paper last night a photo shoot with all the people that are, we call them the multiple Maniacs. George Figs made that up, but it's good. The people that were in that, we did a photo shoot right there. It's still there. It's on the last street of Bond, right before the water.
Well, that's kind of close to Jonestown. Do you think the scene inspired the Kool-Aid-related events at Jonestown?
Well, no, this, of course, Jonestown was way after this, certainly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jonestown was way after that, yeah. Jonestown, the last time I got arrested was the night of Jonestown night, yeah. But that's what I always think of it. And I'm friends with some people that were at Jonestown. The survivors group is very militant, the people that were there, and they're trying to change the opinion that it was really murder, it was not suicide, because the people would not have done that with the armed guards there and everything. So I think it's a new, very interesting group of people. Yes?
Once you started getting budgets for movies like Serial Mom, Cry Baby, like when you actually had money coming in,
Right.
Were there scenes, since you had people funding it, that you just couldn't shoot? Like, did you ever have a lobster rape scene?
No, I was realistic. I mean, this movie was a big budget for us when we made it. It was $5,000. I had made Mondo Trasher that was $2,500. So this was the big time for us at the time. No, I was realistic. The more money they give you, the more they're going to have to say. That's just math, really. So I went through the Hollywood experiences, you know, but I always could negotiate that. I mean, even with Crybaby, there's a scene where she drinks her tears. Well, that preview audiences hated that, right? But they said, if you really want to keep that in, that's a good, you know. So I had fights with studios and stuff, but mostly people treated me fairly. They gave me a lot of money to make those movies. They do have a right to say it. And if those movies lose money, which many of them did, they're fired for giving me the money. So I get why they were uptight, you know? But what they don't realize is that once you've agreed to make the movie, that's the script, and you have a test screening, you can't make everyone like it, and they want to make it so you change it so everyone likes it, and if you do everything they say, no one likes it. So that's the problem. And even the head of the NRG that does all the test screening said to me, what norm do we test you against? No, imagine if this was test screened. It really does not have 2 rapes in it, I know rape isn't funny, but the lobster one is. Yes. My favorite scene, well, the rosary job sort of, I think, I don't know. I mean, has anyone ever gotten one? I don't know. I've never heard of Benoit balls. I guess it's kind of the same. But I don't know. I guess that scene, only because I can't believe that we pulled it off. And then they were such brave actors making Divine to do that. No one said we were good. That everyone hated us. We didn't get ever good reviews. The censor board, they didn't see it till 1980 when we were making Polyester, when it was going to play in the Charles for the first time, even though it came out 10 years earlier. It played in churches and in colleges where the censor board didn't have their reach. But they finally had to watch it, and she started crying, and they made the judge watch it, and he said, my eyes were insulted for 90 minutes, but it's not illegal. And, the best review I got was when I sent it to Canada. I was trying to get a distributor there, and into Ontario, Canada, and didn't come back. And I wrote and said, well, can I get the print back? And I just got a receipt from the censor board that said destroy. Can you do that? Oh, yes, I guess. So, and this film was made as a joke of what could, Herschel Gordon Lewis made 2000 Maniacs, so it was a lot about what was left you couldn't do, and gore movies. Porno had not become legal yet, but it was always about exploitation films, which Baltimore was really big on, really big. I mean, I remember the first premiere I ever went to in Baltimore was at the Hippodrome, and it was a blaxploitation movie called Slaves, and Dionne Warwick was the star, and it was a real premiere for the first time with lights and red carpet, and she got out of a limousine and somebody yelled, "Hey bitch, give me $1." Which, that's why I love it here so much.
Did she give the $1?
I don't know. She looked so horrified. No, she did not take out $1 and give it to him. No. She thought it was going to be like, a reporter or something. Is that you, George?
Yeah.
Yes, well, Jesus Christ is here, so can we have... Yeah.